Oh, what's that? I couldn't open that before. Okay. So where were the matches? Was it even here? I can't remember.
Funny how some games really stand the test of time. I used to play this with Mom all the time.
Oh.
A cat named Greta. G-R.
I totally forgot about that. Okay. But also now we need... No. No. No.
Doris Day. That's an alliteration, isn't it? Doris. I-S. So GR from Greta and IS from Doris. Gree? Could that be the code for the case on the bed in 509? It's worth a try.
Yeah, let's go. Okay. A typewriter.
That novelist, Bridget Boswell, is actually you, Marcella?
Oh, what? Dear Marcella, or should I say Bridget? You know, I refer a good old crime story, but last week I came upon a romance novel with an intriguing title, and they were roommates. I bought it on an impulse at a train station and read it from the cover to cover during the journey. Can you imagine my surprise when I recognized our story? You may have changed the names and locations, but all of our moments are there. Our endless discussions in the dorm room, our first date at the theater, our trip to Quebec City. You often said writers are thieves, but I never truly understood until now. It has almost been 10 years since I received your last letter, the letter that pointed our relationship as nothing more than a summer fling. At first I could not believe you had written those words. Then I waited in vain for your answer and had to accept your love for me had never been real. Okay. Oh, next page. For many years I was broken-hearted, angry, confused. I questioned the nature of our feelings, of our attraction, and made many wrong decisions. But this book, your book, am I foolish to think it's proof you really loved me? In any case, I hope you are well, and I'm happy to see you accomplished your dream of becoming a writer.
Oh, Anne. Murder might be a bit much, but you deserve some kind of justice.
Dear Marcella, I didn't expect you to reply to my letter, but I'm happy to see I was wrong. Your words have comforted me in a time of great distress. If only Louis was half the man you say Hector is. He has quite a temper and hits me frequently. I'm willing to put up with it as long as he doesn't hurt Michael, but there's some days when it comes almost unbearable. The only day I dreamed of our first date, we were watching The Postman Only Rings Twice again, but suddenly we were in the movie. You were Lana Turner and I was John Garfield, and we were both plotting to kill my husband. I hate to admit it, but I almost hope it was premonitory. To answer your question, I do still have our box. My brother is currently in Atlanta for work, and I was thinking of going to see him with Michael next month. You are able to meet me there. We could open the box together and laugh at the silly things we thought important all those years ago. I hope to hear from you soon. P.S. Do you remember the secret language we invented so Sister Millers couldn't understand the notes we passed during her class? In secret language, I still do.
I do like a happy ending. I just hope that's where your story is headed.
Dear Marcella, thank you for sending me a signed version of your latest novel. I think it's your greatest work yet, but I do have a few comments to help make the next one even better. First, I believe Rose should be more concerned with what she deserves than her husband deserves. She may not deserve the pain she will cause by leaving him, but they both deserve to be happy, and they won't be as long as they remain together, as long as she doesn't listen to her own needs. And I think it would be great if your next novel ended on a more positive note. Imagine if Rose left her husband and rode into the sunset with Eve. Imagine if they went to New York or Los Angeles, someplace where people like us are tolerated. Imagine if they got to have their happy ending. It would be the best story ever. I hope you will consider it. I know you say invisibility protects us, but don't you just wish to be seen sometimes? Wouldn't you like people to know that you are Bridget Boswell, to recognize you on the street, to recognize you for your work? Why not publish your novel under your own name? Next novel.
Oh, so you came to Montreal under the pretense of celebrating your wedding anniversary, but all along, you meant to reunite with Anne.
Dear Marcella, I left the house, I left Louis. I couldn't take it anymore, I couldn't lie anymore. How do you do it? How do you manage to live a double life, to hide your work and your novels from your husband? I had so much less to hide, and yet Michael and I are staying at the Clarington Hotel until we find a place to stay at the divorce is done. I don't know how long it will take. Could you come and see me in Montreal? I really need you by my side right now. P.S. I wouldn't put it past Louis to scout every hotel, guest book in the region looking for me under his surname. So I've registered under the name Bautmont. Okay.
There's a lot of stuff in here. I don't think I've looked at everything yet.
Well, what do you mean?
After all this, turns out you're a fan of Bridget? Of Marcella? That's a lot sweeter than I expected.
Dear Marcel, although you don't know me, I think I can safely say that I'm your biggest fan. Your novels have literally changed my life. After the war, I spent almost 10 years in a psychiatric hospital because of panic attacks. None of the treatments were working, and I wasn't getting any better. I became friends with one of the nurses who started lending me books so I could pass the time. I didn't really like the first ones, but when I picked up the Bridget's Possible first novel. But then, your novel. I had never read such a beautiful love story and almost brought tears to my eyes. I immediately urged the nurse to get me more of your books. Believe it or not, the more I read them, the less panic attacks I had. The doctors thought it was their new medication finally working, but I knew the truth. Your novels gave me the courage to get in contact with Lindsay, a friend from the war. I had always felt for him the same way your characters feel for each other, but I had never dared tell him. Now I have, thanks to you. Oh, the detective guy. The thought of seeing him again is what motivated me to get better and leave this hospital. I hope to hear back from him soon. After my discharge, I wanted to thank you for everything you've done for me. I've discovered Bridget was a pseudonym, so tracking you down took longer than I thought. Fortunately, I am a very patient and resourceful man, and I will never give up. Do you think we could meet? I have so much more to tell you, Paul.
I'm glad you were able to open up to Marcella like this.
Dear
Everyone
Marcella,
needs someone to talk to.
thanks for answering my letter. I realize now how unsettling I must have been for you. Please forgive me for tricking your editor into giving me your address. I know I should have done that. I wanted to thank you as well for your encouraging words concerning Lindsay. I still haven't heard from him, and I'm starting to fear I might have the wrong address. I wish I could take a train to Virginia, but that's not an option right now, as I can barely pay the rent. I guess I will have to find a job. As a kid, I dreamed of being a doctor, an actor, a Hollywood star. I know it's a foolish dream, but what else can I do? What am I good at? I've tried getting some odd jobs already, but employees turn me down as soon as they learn that where I've spent the last 10 years of my life. If it continues like this, I'll probably end up on the streets like so many of my army buddies. Why I've been telling you all this? After reading your books and getting to know you through them, I tend to forget I'm only a stranger to you. I hope you don't mind. You seem to be a good listener, and I've been feeling rather lonely ever since I left the hospital. Anyway, please tell me more about your life. I do not hesitate to write long letters. I must read your previous one as 1,000 times already, Paul.
An
Dear
advance
Marcella,
on my salary. So Marcella hired you. But what for?
I've just received a letter from Lindsay's mother. She tells me he is dead. Words cannot even begin to describe how empty I feel. He died 2 years ago before I even sent the first letter. He will never know my feelings for him, and I will never know if he could have loved me back. I guess I should have known this would end in pain, just like your novels. I wish I had Lindsay's ability to find beauty everywhere. Even during the war, MS the death and chaos, he would marvel at the forest of Germany and the sun, the birds. He loved birds so much he could identify them just by listening to their song. I have to admit, your proposition took me by surprise. I was hesitant to leave home at first. I was afraid to miss Lindsay's answer, but now there's nothing keeping me here. I'm desperate for anything that will help me to forget the pain, but I don't have enough money to take it to Texas. Do you think you could give me an advance of my salary? In spite of everything, I'm really excited to know I'm finally meeting you, Paul.
Oh, Lindsay's a man. Yeah, I guess it was presumptuous of me to think otherwise. Oh, Lindsay's a man. Yeah, I guess it was presumptuous of me to think otherwise.
So this was all a story about star-crossed lovers, with the lovers in question being Mrs. Beaumont and Mrs. Cruz?
Seems like it, yeah. But I'm not sure whether they chose to meet here just to reconnect for a few days, or if there's something more to it.
Actually, I think I can help with that.
Really? How?
Well, some mail just arrived here for Mrs. Beaumont.
I wonder what's in it.
Me too.
Should we open it?
Well, that's illegal, isn't it? But sometimes the mail arrives a little damaged, you know? Oops.
So?
It's a tourism pamphlet for California and 3 train tickets. What do you think this means?
I'd say Anne and Marcella are probably planning to run away from their husbands. Those train tickets must be for them and Michael.
So you're on a first-name basis now, huh?
Well, after reading so much of their correspondence, I kind of feel like I know them, you know?
Yeah, like characters in a book. I have to say, though, I'm still a bit confused as to how Paul fits into all of this.
Turns out he's a big fan of Marcella.
He is? Why?
She writes pulp fiction under his pseudonym. I think her books gave Paul a chance to get out of his own head while he was staying in a psychiatric hospital.
I get it. Books have always been a way to escape for me, too. But why did he have pictures of you?
We'll probably never know. I think the trail ends here.
I guess investigations in real life always have some loose ends. I was kinda hoping we'd have this big third act reveal, to be honest.
At least it made our day pretty interesting.
That's for sure. It helped me understand you better, too.
Oh?
Why you snoop, I mean. Piecing together people's stories, learning what makes them tick. It makes you realize we may have more in common than it seems.
You're right. It's a good reminder that there are always reasons for the way people are, even if we can't pick up on them right away.
Yeah, we're all made up of what came before. I'm glad you understand where I'm coming from. Would you come and see me when your shift ends? We could leave together, if you'd like.
Sure. If we're able to. With all that snow, I'm thinking maybe we'll have no choice but to spend the night here.
I guess that wouldn't be so bad. We could set up a pillow fort on the mezzanine.
A pillow fort? We do work in a hotel, you know. There are actual beds here.
Oh, I wouldn't be sleeping. I've got a reading list the size of the Eiffel Tower. This would be the perfect chance to put a dent in it.
That does sound like fun. I could bring my magazines and, ooh, maybe light some of Rebecca's candles.
Now I kinda hope we do get stuck here.
I just have to finish my tasks for the day, and then I can leave.
Hold on, what's left then? Do we have to destroy all these? I'm not sure. Okay. Do I have to destroy the things? I'm not sure.
That ringing. Sounds like the elevator doors are jammed.
Whoa. Oh god, what?
Mr. Cruz? Mr. Cruz. Oh God. Oh God. What happened? Mr. Cruz's life insurance policy. Why did he have this on him?
Yeah, pretty convenient, isn't it? $10,000.
Marcella? Okay, let's not jump to conclusions. Is this about Paul? Does that mean...
Dear Mr. Cruz, thank you for reporting that guest's unacceptable behavior. We will look into it as soon as possible. However, I regret to inform you that we cannot divulge a guest's personal information regardless of that guest's behavior. I am sure you will understand we are very concerned with our guest's privacy, and our staff prides itself on its discretion. Please contact us that guest should bother you again. Yours sincerely, Bernard. Anything else?
Marcella? Okay, let's not jump to conclusions. Please let there be someone around who can help. I have to get the power back on.
Oh, now that's creepy. So there's no point of destroying the clues and secret notes? Because, yeah.
Might need this to restore power. It's too big. I guess I'll need something pointier.
Okay.
Think, Sophie, think. What can you use to open the fuse box? I don't think there's anything here that would help me. Maybe an ice pick could pry open the fuse box.
Ice pick?
Think, Sophie, think. What can you use to open the fuse box?
What ice pick?
It's too big. I guess I'll need something pointier.
Did we see ice pick? I'm not sure.
I knew blocking the stairs would be a bad idea. Maybe an ice pick could pry open the fuse box.
Where'd I get an ice pick? Was it champagne thing room? No. Where do I get ice pick?
Think, Sophie, think. What can you use to open the fuse box?
Well, I can't leave this floor.
The elevator won't work until I get the power back on.
Can I call someone? Okay. Did I see ice pick somewhere? I can't remember.
Hello? Is anyone in? Hello? I need help. Hello? Is anyone in? Hello?
That ice pick, now I see.
These look like Marcella's pearls. What happened here? Okay, this looks like something I can use to open the fuse box.
Not before we inspect everything.
A, B, and Beaumont.
Okay.
Poor Paul. Lindsay's death really hit him hard. He hasn't been in the best headspace.
February 14. Montreal's much bigger than I had expected. Big cities always make me feel lonely, and that feeling has only exacerbated this morning by the fact that everyone around me was speaking a language I could not understand. I bought an English-French dictionary at the train station, but I don't think I'll need it after all. English speakers seem more common in the downtown area, thank God. The hotel is nice. When I arrived, the whole staff was busy getting ready for some big event. It wasn't until I saw Marcellus enter the lobby with a flower bouquet and that I realized today is Valentine's Day. Hector and her were gone in a flash, and I was left feeling more alone than ever. Wishing Lindsay was here with me, helping Marcella out. This past weeks has been a great distraction, but it still hurts so much every time I think about him. I had hoped the pain would have gone by now. I'll probably need a double dose of Miltone to sleep tonight.
So Paul just needed to pass the time while Marcella was away. That's why he was observing us.
February 15. Today I wanted to follow Marcella and Hector out of the hotel, but the sidewalks were packed with people. Then I started having a panic attack. I tried taking a cab, and that's when I realized I was all out of money. But why? Like, he was writing down where they went, what they ate. Why would he do that? I mean, she already hired him, so It's been a while since Marcella's last payment, and the hotel room was more expensive than I had anticipated. I couldn't resort to selling the camera, so I decided to pawn my victory medal instead. It was hard letting it go after so many years, and yet it also felt strangely liberating. Maybe it's a sign I shouldn't be holding on to the past so much. To fight boredom until Marcella and Hector's return, I started looking at the hotel's staff. I heard Andrew and Beth at the reception desk discussing books and movies. They both seem like nice people. I wish I had found the courage to join their conversation. When you look at people all day and they never look back, you start feeling invisible. I noticed that Sophie, that maid in charge of cleaning the 5th floor, seems to share my interest for other people's lives. Maybe I should try talking to her.
Paul was hiding out right here. Did he ever find the person who was sneaking out at night?
February 16. Who's sneaking out of the room every night? The question has been driving me crazy since my first night at the hotel, so tonight I decided to investigate. I found a hiding spot near the ice machine with a nice view of the whole corridor. My camera's at the ready, but there's been no movement for at least 3 hours, and I'm fighting not to fall asleep. No need for meal tone tonight. I thought being a detective would be more exciting. Maybe Marcella's right. Maybe it's time I let go of Mr. Spade.
9:45? So Anne and Marcella met here this morning while I was busy cleaning room 504.
February 17. I woke up around 9:30 and realized I had fallen asleep sometime in the early morning. I was about to go back to my room when the guest from room 507 came to sit on one of the chairs close by. She's been there ever since, and I don't care. Leave my hiding spot in front of her. Marcella joined the guest from 507 around 9:45. Apparently she told Hector she didn't love him anymore, and he's now convinced she's been cheating on him. That explains why he assaulted me out of the blue yesterday evening and accused me of having an affair with his wife. The guest from 507, I've learned her name is Anne, had just said she might have an idea of how to solve their problem. I'm thinking of revealing myself, but I don't want to anger Marcella. The longer I wait, the more awkward it will be when I do come out. Maybe I should.
Looks like Paul had to stop writing in a hurry. What happened? I was listening to the radio at the time. Did the music drown out the noise? Looks like Paul had to stop writing in a hurry. What happened? I was listening to the radio at the time. Did the music drown out the noise?